talk about our feelings and our emotions, and we're able to have these conversations that really speak to what we're thinking and how we're feeling, especially about the guy that we're dating. Why is it that men can't do the same thing? Why can't men share their feelings about what they think about the woman that they're dating and where they see the relationship going?
My personal opinion is women are more so brought up into the idea of talking about stuff in detail and fantasizing about what their wedding day is going to be like and who their husband is going to be, Prince Charming and Barbie dolls and dresses and stuff. Guys are just usually sent out to go play. So usually when we go out, we just run around and just do whatever we want to do. We don't have great details like actually playing with Cinderella and everything else. So you guys are pretty much grown with way more detail than we are.
When it comes to being more expressive, and this will be me speaking for me personally, because I suck when it comes to my words in conversations with opposite sex anyways. Actions speak louder than words anyways. So you may if you feel a certain type of way towards a young lady, instead of saying it, sometimes just show her. She might appreciate, because 9 times out of 10, she'll appreciate that more than what you're saying. Or if you say it, then back it up.
And I think also too is that sometimes we don't know how a person is expressing themselves. Because I was brought up this way, this is the way I was taught to express myself. But you may have been brought up totally different. And because our backgrounds are different, this is me expressing myself by rubbing you on your back if you get hurt. Because that's the way that it had been taught to me. But for you, someone expressing themselves to showing that they care about you may look totally different. So because I may not be meeting the expectation or requirement that you have for me expressing that sometimes can be where we like, this may not be working because you're not expressing to me how I feel, or I think. But you really have never even actually analyzed or looked at the person to see what is your background that make you who you are, and how do you actually take in who I am as a person.
A standard that society put on genders. Usually you meet a male figure that talks about their feelings, or just does that, and not just in a relationship. They're viewed as weak. They just talk about their feelings. Just for like the past, probably from generations past, we're just taught to do the hard work and just ask no questions later. Because if we ask questions or we start talking about like how we feel, we get ridiculed for that for whatever reason. It's beyond me.
But I mean, thinking about generations past, we see that was a broken system, and we see that it produced a lot of broken men. So if you knew better, you do better. So since you guys understand at this day and age that having open dialogue and being expressive, going to therapy is all beneficial, then why still follow that same, excuse like, well, they're gonna think I'm weak if I talk about it, when we're past that.
I mean, I kind of think if you think about like generational curses, like those things are like cast and put on, like those things are like real life. It's hard to break a generational curse. There, like you said, that therapy piece is something real big that goes into that. But then also too, like Austin was saying, with your background of it, if you've been always brought up this way, then that's like, this is who I am. I'm stuck this way. So it's kind of like that's the curse that's always on your family, because you've been taught this way, and then you're going to train your child to be this way because you've never been taught a system that is different. So because you've been taught this way, you've been trained up this way, this will be the way that you'll always think. And because I always have thought like this or think like this, I don't know how to open up because no one has ever taught me how to open up. Or, what were you supposed to say something?
No, I said right.
Or, like Austin was saying too, when you do open up, you are viewed as vulnerable or weak. And then that can come off on the negative. So because they're viewed that way, then we go back into our shell of back to my curse. And that's how the generational curses work. When you eventually try to break a curse, you're attacked because you're trying to break it. And because you're attacked, you now run back into your safe haven of this has always been safe and who I am. So I'll just stay in this particular area and I'll just keep my feelings to myself. And I mean, there's a lot about that too, because it's kind of like you may not even understand how I'm feeling or what I'm saying. So now I have to break it down in so many different levels. And then as a man, sometimes we may not even really know how to form and to put it into words because we've never been taught. How do I express how I'm feeling in a way that you can understand? What if I never had a mother or a positive mother role figure who never taught me or showed me how to love or express my feelings? So how am I going to give that back to somebody that I've never been taught how to do it?
Okay, so I mean, from that, it just sounds like the cycle will repeat itself.
Oh man, that's crazy cycles.
So I guess, I mean, the question got pretty deep pretty fast, but what women, I think, are looking for is for men to be more expressive. So what are some ways that you guys can, try to fight against that curse and just be more expressive and really give women what they require?
It goes to just us from our portion, like it goes to stepping out and doing something different. Because if we stay within the systematic teachings, then we're going to continue to do the same thing, getting the same result. So we have to step out of our comfort zone and be able to identify when something isn't just working.
Why do men lie? You lie about whatever. You lie about your ex-girlfriend texting you. You lie about looking at that girl's Instagram. You lie about the Coach bag that you said you bought from Coach, and you bought it from a booster. I mean, y'all lie about a lot. Why do men lie so much?
I think it's because it's so easy. It's natural. It's so natural to tell a lie, and you can naturally tell a lie, and then you don't even notice like, oh man, I just lied. And it's like habitual behavior. Once you've done something over and over and over again, it just flows so easily. Not saying that all men lie, but women do lie as well. But when something is just so natural, it's just easy for you to flow into it. As well as sometimes, and I believe Anthony was saying this, is that we don't all the time really we don't like confrontation. Yeah. And if your relationship in our home is happy, we would rather keep our home happy than to destroy our home by something that is going to cause confrontation. Because ultimately, when a woman is upset or mad, you can shake up the whole vibe in this whole little thing. And at the end of the day, it's kind of like, okay, we understand that you're shooken up, but if it gets to me, the male, and I'm now irritated by the situation, that's when it can all crash down. Because I'm not in a good headspace to even make you feel better because I'm now irritated about what has happened. Because we've now been in confrontation or different things of that nature.
So you lied to avoid accountability? Is that what I'm hearing?
Accountability. Go ahead, Austin.
Well, I'm going to speak on accountability part, but mine's going to sound, it's going to sound really cliche. I think the reason that men lie, the reason people lie, I'm going to stop saying men for a quick second. The reason people lie is because the truth hurts. And that's, and things like disappointment, depression, expectations not being met, all that hurts the person when somebody goes through that. So from a man's perspective, I think it's like, well, okay, most of the time, believe it or not, we when anything happens with us, we know what happens. We know the outcome before it happens. When a bad outcome happens with men, we see it before it happens. So so 9 times out of 10, we gonna play that 50-50 rule. That 50-50 rule is, let's see if I make up a story. Let's see if this story can stick. Let's see how it plays out. Yeah. Let's see if it plays out and nobody goes, and we can avoid confrontation. We don't have to we have to talk about it. We shoot that real cool. If it doesn't play out that way, and I get caught up in the fire, then hey, I get caught up in the fire.
I mean, you guys are feeling each other, right? And you think you know each other. You understand each other. So what is the typical age that men usually get married, or men think that they should be married by? Like what's the age?
If a man really wants to marry you, it's not going to be a hard decision to make. It's just you've got to be something worth marrying, and also he needs to be something to you, and not just making a rational decision based off of you liking that person a lot. So I don't think it's so much off of age.
Something worth marrying.
And I also think that it's about the people who you hang around too. If I have a lot of guy friends who are about to get married, then I'll be more prone to get married because I've been exposed to that, opposed to hanging out with, like my friends who like to party or
Go
like
to
to go
strip
out.
clubs.
Right, then I'll be more prone to that because I've been exposed to it. Right.
Okay.
And I was just listening, and then you picked off that too. You said something worth marrying.
Yeah.
Like when you think about that too, like that's a real deal thing. Like you have to have some good qualities in order for a man to actually see, like, hey, I actually want to marry you because there's something about you. Just like it says, when a man finds a wife, he finds something that is good. He finds what is good.
Mm-hmm.
So that key thing is there. If I'm marrying you, there has to be something there that is good about you that draws me into you to make me want to marry you. And I think a lot of times, maybe some ladies or some women, they may not have or know, and it may be off your background or how you were brought up and what you were trained into, of understanding what is it that's good about me that I can actually present to a man other than my body.
Yeah.
Like what
So
is
give
it?
us some examples of, like, in your opinion, what do you think are some good qualities or things that women should present as good things that a man would want to marry?
So just like for a wife is supposedly the helpmate.
Mm-hmm.
So as a man, I'm thinking, I would want my wife to help me into whatever my purpose is in life. Because as a man, what we're ultimately trying to do is fulfill whatever it is that God is calling us to do and to be. And we may not know that off jump, depending too on that age.
Yeah.
Because with that age, there comes growing and development and different things of that nature. So if I'm at a young age and I don't know what my purpose is and I'm just out here living life, if I'm hanging out with friends and we just kicking and going to the club, I'm not really focused on purpose right now. I'm focused on just having fun and living life. But if I'm at that age where it's just like, okay, this is getting old, this is tired out, it's now time for me to see, like, what is it that I was put on this earth to do? So now it's time for me to have purpose. When I get tied up to the right person who is here to help me, and they may see something in me that I don't see in myself, and they're here to help push me to that place. It's just like what the Holy Spirit is here for.
Yeah.
It's here to help you through your life. And ain't here to tell you to do this or to do that. It's just here to help you to navigate through those different places in your life. So as my wife, I want her to help me be the best me.
But an interesting thing you said is that prerequisite to that is you, as a man, identifying your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I know that comes at varying ages and, comes with life experiences. So, as a man, like, when is there like an average age where men like understand their purpose or they start pursuing it? Like, we just want a ballpark figure, like, on this age thing.
I think it's when you come to yourself. It's like that self-acknowledgement of where you are. Like, honestly, I really don't think there's an age. I mean, I could say 32, but then you'll have other females out here by the time the husband or the boyfriend turns 32, they'll be waiting on a wedding ring and they'll be disappointed. I just think you come to yourself and then you put away those childish things and make that definite decision.
That's it right there, sir.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that too. It's just really when you come to that place where it's just like, I'm just ready now. I put away all of my immaturity and different things, and now I'm ready to go out and seek and find what's next, because this just can't be life.
And to clarify that too, it's not going to be a perfect thing from the guy's perspective. A quality that I look for in a woman is if I'm not doing something right versus making a Facebook post, you'll pray for me. So that's a major thing for me versus, just knowing that you're going to bash me to the next person. Or you can actually sit there and we pray through the situation.
Together. And I think that's the big part is together, not having me. Just like you said, it's not perfect.
Right.
So if I'm not perfect, and that's really especially for me, I don't know for anyone else, but leaving me in a place where I don't feel like I'm together or perfect. If I open myself up to you to show you my imperfections, and because you don't like my imperfections, you decide to leave, then that hurts as a man, to be honest. So making sure that it's a process. Your life is a process. My life is a process. But it's about, okay, cool. I'm here to. I mean, that's just like how Jesus Christ is. Regardless of where you are in your life, He's never going to leave you nor forsake you. Whether you're messed up, whether you're together, He's always there. So if you have a person who's here, like, man, I'm walking with you through this thing. I'm here for you. You messed up. You ain't got this. You ain't got that. Whatever the case may be, I'm still here. At the end of the day, if you turn around and that person is still there, it's like, okay, cool, you rocking with me, and I can rock with you because you're still here. I've been at the bottom, and you're still here. So now I'm at the top. I still want you here because I've been to my lowest place, and you've been here with me.
And in the defense of women as well, that's not to say be ignorant. There does come a rush for a man. No woman's gonna stand there and just take a bunch of crap the entire time. So don't be ignorant and think that she's just gonna be there and continue to get walked on. So a man himself has to show some type of urgency to get to that better place or that acknowledgement of self to become husband.
And then also with that too is like, just from what I've seen with different women, is that women always see a man, and when they see the man, they'll say, "This is my husband." But ultimately, it really is for the man to notice those good qualities about the woman. So the woman is showing, this is what's good about me. And it's not like flaunting it or anything of that nature, but it's building that relationship, that friendship, and different things about that nature to see your personality, understanding your background and your history and different things of that nature. And then seeing what's actually is good about you. That's the good thing that I'm finding about you. Now I'm seeing, how can you not necessarily benefit my life, but what's the word I'm trying to say, where you complement my life and my walk, because it's just everything about you seems to just match up and flow together. So but I think in our generation, women see a man, they see something good about him or their nature, or they may not see something good about him, they just may want a man, and this is ultimately my husband. And the man is just like, okay, cool, here you are. I don't know my purpose, so I'm just going to use you. I do know my purpose, and I'm trying to figure things out. So what I would want you to do is help me to stay focused on my purpose and not be a distraction to my purpose. Because that can also be sometimes where it comes into play too, is that it's a distraction.
Why do you guys disappear? Like, you just kind of get ghost. You don't really let us know why. You'll just like poof out of thin air. Like, don't respond to our texts. Don't answer our phone calls. Block us on Instagram. Why do y'all do that? Just disappear.
Habit is much more comfortable than change. I think, and a wise woman told me this a while ago, you really have to be able to love yourself in order to love the other party correctly. A man has to know what he offers. A man has to know what his purpose is, like Joseph said. And he also has to humble himself and know what he can get better at. Guys don't like confrontation if they don't address the particular thing within themselves. Therefore, you'll go your whole life not acknowledging anything, just like you alluded to your first question, why guys never really talk about anything. Well, think about how much stuff as men we never acknowledge. Like, nobody's gonna ever say, you know, I'm an alcoholic. They'll just keep going out to the club and drinking and having a good time. Nobody's gonna say, I smoke weed way too much. They're just gonna roll up and blaze one. But when you come into that full acknowledgement of self, you'll be
So
like,
you're not
hey.
gonna say, baby, you're not for me. You just
Yeah, like I said, habit is much easier than change. Like, I'd rather just get out of Dodge and not have to explain anything to you, because being able to specifically describe in detail what I feel, how I feel, why I feel the way that I feel, I don't want to go through that.
Now,
and even knowing that you're not going to understand it.
Yeah, it's like when that happens. In some cases, for the man, that's like a whole nother level of transparency, because it could be like, okay, I know right now on the inside that I got a lot of insecurities I need to work on, and that and I have this wonderful woman right here, and I don't want to do anything to steer her life in another direction.
Yeah.
So just let me take a step back because I don't want to mess up what she got going on, and I don't want to. And with anything I got going on, I don't want to make it worse because I wasn't sure of my purpose or what I wanted at the time versus what I didn't want at the time.
Yes.
So in most cases for men, which also goes back to the earlier question about us just expressing ourselves, because we don't know how to express that. We just take that's when we just take that natural get into that natural cocoon and take a step back.
Man, that was so much because also too, like you said, how it comes off at us is if like we don't want to hurt you, especially if you're a good woman, a good person, or different things of that nature, and there are some things that we need to work on in ourselves, and that's all. It's a lot that could go with that too, because it could also be like you think I'm your husband. And I haven't seen what's good in you yet. And I'm actually just trying to figure out what is actually good about you for you to even step into the role of actually being my wife. But if I do have some issues that I'm trying to work on, or even if I'm trying to figure that out, it comes off as, I don't want to hurt you. So I think it's just best that I pull back and work on me. And you're already head first in when you should also be trying to figure out what's actually good about me.
I would say this, and just in the women's defense, I guess I'll play devil's advocate. You know, like a lot of times when we do go ghost, it's kind of like they're sitting back wondering, okay, well, you just went ghost on me, and you just wasted my time, and you know, kind of had an inkling that all of this stuff is gonna happen. So from a woman's perspective, you just wasted my time. You didn't give me no notice. You just disappeared. So although we are working on ourselves. Women looking at us is kind of like, okay, man, you didn't even tell me that you was working on yourself. You just left. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like we never give them the closure that they need to move on to the next phase of their life.